Alright guys, this is going to be day 94 of me coding every single day until I become a software engineer. Thank you guys for watching all the comments in the last video. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I do want to kind of talk about this post I saw the other day. This guy Gary V, he just does a lot of business videos. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard of him. I don't really follow his content. I think he's kind of weird in general. But I thought this was really interesting what he posted. He says, anybody on earth who makes fun of you for trying is in a crap place themselves and is trying to drag you into their crap. And I thought this was really interesting because I had a situation kind of yesterday, which is kind of the reason I didn't end up posting a video that I should have posted yesterday. That maybe it's not exactly what this guy was saying, but I thought it was kind of related. Yeah, basically I was with my friends in the library, who is a pretty smart guy. He's been doing self-taught, he's been teaching himself software engineering for like 10 years, and he came to college to try and get a degree, help himself out. So obviously he has a lot more experience than me. We were both working on the daily LeetCode problem, count collisions on a road. And maybe this was not the best idea for me personally, because I don't think it's very useful trying to solve problems you don't know the fundamentals that you need to know to try and solve them. Maybe I shouldn't have even been trying to solve the problem in the first place, but he solved the problem like an hour before I did, or I didn't end up even solving it like an hour before I got really anywhere. And he came over to attempt to help me, and it's a pretty massive flaw in my logic with understanding this problem. Basically, you have cars moving left and right, and I thought that the left direction was this way, which is actually the right, and that the right direction was this way. So I thought cars that were R in the string were going in this direction. Like cars that were L in the string were going in this direction. And this is, pretty naive now that I see it. That was completely wrong here. But, yeah, in a moment I said, maybe I'm dyslexic. Maybe I can't tell that, what direction left and right is. And I think he responded in such a way like, maybe you are. And that was just kind of weird. And there were other things about the problem I didn't understand that were preventing me from solving it. But I got pretty ticked off at that, because I would just say, like, with I've been around a lot of smart people in my life. My older brother, I would say, is someone who has particularly high IQ in comparison to the average person. And then also my friend at school and other people that I've met are really intelligent. And I feel like pretty much all these smart people I met, they're just inherently smart. They're just some people that just get things right, that really have to try. I'm not one of those people. I'm a very slow thinker. I need to repeat things tons of times to do well on them. I draw blanks all the time on tests and things. So I definitely don't have the same experience as someone with a very high IQ. But one thing I've noticed with a lot of intelligent people is this general pessimism in general about certain things. And I think it makes kind of sense, right? Like, if you're someone who's very good at something and it just kind of comes naturally to you, and you look at other people and it just doesn't come naturally to them, like, I think it's kind of instinctive to think, maybe some one person can't really do it right. Like, maybe they're not good enough. Maybe they'll never be good enough. Maybe with any amount of practice they put in, like, they're just not going to come up with the logic to, like, get good at something. And I'll be honest, I'm one of those people that I've had this told to me directly to my face by multiple people, including my friend. that I'm talking about in this video, that I should maybe drop this major because I'm not smart enough. And I think I really dislike that type of rhetoric, telling people to quit something they want to do because they're not smart enough for it. And that's kind of why I found this quote kind of inspiring. And maybe some is true. Maybe some people won't ever be smart enough for certain things, but I think telling somebody to straight up quit is not really a great way to put it, because you can't just remove all sense of hope that somebody has to become better, and think that they're going to be that they can achieve something. And I remember the first time that I was told I should quit this degree was one of my old teachers from a school I transferred out from. But that semester, like, I really struggled. Like, it was easily my worst semester by far. I failed all my classes. After he told me that, I just lost all motivation to even try anymore. And that experience, to me, has really changed my perspective on, the idea of, telling people to quit something and being pessimistic. Maybe it's truly realistic take, but I think it's not really a beneficial one. And I'm not trying to, shit on my friend or anything. And we've had a discussion about this before. But I'm a pretty emotional person. And yesterday I was pretty down the dumps after this occurred, because I felt like it was, this in particular was very easy to notice, and for whatever reason I didn't notice it. I don't think I've had enough practice with LeetCode to really be complaining, but at the same time, it's really basic stuff, and it felt kind of bad that I couldn't recognize this. And because I'm emotional, when I'm happy, I'm really happy. When I'm sad, I'm really sad. When I'm angry, I'm really angry. So I got kind of down the dumps. I didn't really do anything last night. I think I just ordered Panda Express and just basically doom scrolling the entire night. I woke up this morning, and after I saw this, I was like, maybe I shouldn't really care what other people think or what they say, because at the end of the day, it's me that's going to determine what my life looks like. And maybe a lot of the stuff I'm dealing with now is because of existential dread, considering I'm graduating and I don't have the greatest GPA. I don't have much of anything going for me, but and I'm kind of regretting all the choices I've made in the past. But like, I can't really focus on those things, right? I can't focus on the outputs of the current day. I can't focus on the outputs of the current day, because they're all based on the inputs I did in the past. That's just how life works. So you go input to output, right? You don't go in the other way around. Like, you can't just change what happens to you, but you can change, your attitude towards it and what you do. So in the past, my outputs were bad. They weren't good. I didn't focus hard enough at school. I played tons of video games. I wasn't, locked in, and I'm getting the outputs I deserve for that kind of behavior now. And, if I want to change the future, then I have to change this. I have to change the stuff I'm inputting today to get, better outputs tomorrow. So that's kind of what I was realized kind of this morning, after I kind of cooled down from this experience, that I can't really be focusing on what other people are capable of, the fact that other people are smarter, the fact that I've made mistakes, things, but that's not going to help me at the end of the day. If I really want to do this, I really want to be a good software engineer and be able to do all these things, then all I can really focus on is what I can do and how I practice and how hard I practice. And maybe I'll have to work harder than other people. That doesn't mean it's impossible. I don't think anything is impossible. I think anything is possible if you're willing to put in enough time and effort into what you're doing. And maybe that's delusional, but I think it's the better way to look at life. if you can just assume that you're incapable of doing something, you're not going to do it. So um, that's kind of my rant for today. And you guys really don't have to watch this. Maybe I'll put a timestamp so you can skip. But I do feel like it's important to, at least for me, I know to talk about these things, because in the past when I didn't talk about it and I just kept my feelings to myself, you just create a bigger hole that's hard for you to climb out of. If you talk to people and you tell them what you're feeling, you can get advice, you can clear your head and stuff. So, but yeah, that's kind of what I want to talk about today. Hopefully that quote was inspiring to you guys, and that little story, um, about just keeping your head down, keep moving forward. Because at the end of the day, it really is about just what you decide to do with your life, what you input into stuff that will change your future. Doesn't matter what people say or think. If you try hard enough, you can do anything. So, and enough yapping today. Let's actually do some coding. If you want to skip all that, you can skip. But yeah, so last time we were working on this. I don't even remember what we did because it was a couple of days ago. This back pressure. Oh, and let me know how the audio sound, guys. Because I turned off noise suppression and did some other things. I don't claim to be an expert on this stuff, but hopefully it's better. Okay, so let's start everything back up. Let's actually use NeoVim today. I've been kind of lazy the past couple videos. Been avoiding NeoVim, primarily because it doesn't have file tree and stuff, so it's kind of hard to move around a code base I didn't write. So they just gave us a code base boot dev for this project. So yeah, no excuses. Back to NeoVim. AMOS cube should be quite full still. It's an unhealthy cube because it grows faster than it can be consumed. This is dangerous because it leads to the system running out of memory or disk space. If it goes down, your whole system goes down with it. A healthy queue is an empty queue. Most of the time, a healthy cluster is processing thousands of messages per second. Mostly have empty queues. Always want to be able to consume messages as fast as they get published. Yeah, it makes sense. Just don't want stuff sitting in the queue, obviously. In case for slow application to parallel server, only run 1 message per second. Let's scale to 100 instances. See if we can empty the queue. Write a multi-server SH script in the root repo. One with 100 as the argument to start 100 parallel servers. Okay. Watch the game mouse queue in the web UI. You see 100 consumers connected to the queue. But if you've watched the consumer act stat, you might notice that you're not getting the 100 messages per second that you expected. Kill the script with Control C. The reason has to do with prefetch. One of our consumers is caching all messages locally. The other consumers can get them. Looks on the list. So let's run this. Permission denied. It might be might not be executable. Yeah, it's not. Whoa, that's kind of insane. Let's look at. Oh, damn. Oh, yeah, we have 100 consumers. Holy cow. I'm not getting 100 messages per second. I don't know what he's talking about, the consumer acknowledgement. I'm not sure where to find that in this UI. Consumer Ackstat Rabbit MQ UI. Okay, this is the detail section. Consumer capacity. I don't see any stat called consumer act. I see consumers has 100. This has to be a chart, right? There are 100 consumers, but I don't know. Oh, maybe this is it. We have an act in memory. I don't see act though. Whatever. I guess it's not terribly important. Let's stop this. Now, I just don't see any acknowledgement stack. There were 100 consumers though. When you run a consumer, you may have assumed this process for message consumption. Fetch a message from the queue across the network. Can be slow. Process the message, acknowledge it, repeat. I'll slow everything down to a crawl. Use a full network round trip for every message. Instead, Rabbit MQ allows you to prefetch messages. When you prefetch messages, Rabbit MQ will send you a batch message at once. Cloud Library will store the memory and you can process it one by one, much faster. The diagram shows 3 consumers, each prefetching batches of 2. There are 3 consumers, prefetching batches of 2 from the queue. Default, we're allowing one client to prefetch all 10,000 messages. That's kind of crazy from the server. That means other clients couldn't get any messages until the first client processes all 10,000. We need to limit the prefetch count. The internal pub/sub package, update your consumption code. Okay. I don't even know where to put this, I guess here. Not sure if I'm looking in the right place here. Oh yeah. Okay. They were consuming, also consuming here at this line. these are pretty much the only places here. So it says before we update that, we need to call channel QoS. Controls how many messages or how many bytes the server will try to keep on the network for consumers before receiving delivery acknowledgements. Okay. Just count 10, I think this was said. Then it also needs prefetch size and global boolean. I guess the boolean will be true. I don't know what the integer is supposed to be. And all returns is an error. That's so do I press undo? Failed to QoS. Because we're gonna have to do the same thing here. I don't think there's anywhere else where we're consuming stuff. I'm gonna look up. I do an example in here, see how it's used. Prefetch size, no size limit. Falls for per consumer quality of service. Prefetch size greater than 0. The server will try to keep at least that many bytes deliveries flushed to the network before receiving acknowledgements with the consumer. Obviously, no consumer to start with no act. Yeah, I think it's better to be set to 0. I don't know if we're sending any bytes. I don't know what we need to keep flush the network before receiving acknowledgements. I want to receive acknowledgements as soon as possible. So it's true, this applies to all existing and future consumers on all channels on the same connection. And false will only apply to channel. When true, it will apply to all channels on the same connection. I mean, I think typically global stuff is bad, right? So there are some instances where having globals is not bad. I don't know. They didn't specify what they want here, so I'm just gonna go with whatever Gemini is suggesting. Hey, run multi-consumer again. Okay, okay, there it goes. Okay, I don't think this is working because it says you should be able to consume 100 messages per second while running 100 parallel servers. Looks like 100 parallel servers are running. Doesn't look like we're consuming any messages though. Let's see what this outputs. Yeah, it says 0, but I'm not sure if this is working correctly. Um, I want to make sure it's working correctly. Where do all these things come from? These stats literally were not there a minute ago. Okay, I just refreshed the page and they all of a sudden appeared. Okay, we're still getting 0 consumers per second. Yeah, let's. I'm unsure of what is wrong here. I'm unsure of why my Rabbit MQUI is not showing consumers being acknowledged per second. Can you give me a hint as to what is happening? I prefer doing this because it'll like ask you a question to try and help me think of it myself. Um, yeah, but I don't know what was happening over here. I didn't click anything. And they just showed message raise. It was not there before though. Well, at least it's there now. I mean, yeah, there are no messages sitting in the queue. Okay, so there are no messages sitting in the queue. There's nothing for the consumers to get, right? There is no work for the consumers to do, as there are no messages to prefetch from the queue. Because I think that's what's going on here. Hopefully that's correct. Yeah. The spam command. I'm starting to dislike thinking models, man. They go too slow. So yeah, they kind of left that out of the explanation in boot.div, but it should have been pretty straightforward, to be totally honest with you. How did I do this before? Okay, so we have hundreds of instances running. I want to spam 1,000 messages to the queue. Okay. Like it's taking a little bit of time. Um, Still says 0. I need to spam 1,000 again. Actually, it might happen really fast. Okay, publish went up 200 per second. Now it's just having no consumers somehow. The consumer act rate. My computer is on fire right now. This thing running. Have to X out. Let's kill it for now. It's going crazy. Yeah, Let's kill the client too. It should clear off, right? It's not clearing off. Do I have to refresh? Yeah, it looks like they weren't even running that time. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we should see. Okay, now it's going up for some reason. But there are no consumers. Why? What changed? I don't know what this output is supposed to be. Let's just stop and restart this. Get a clean slate. Currently idle. Okay, there's 100 consumers. Start the client again. Okay. I'll spam 1000. All our consumers are gone. Okay. So it looks like. Okay, but now I'm almost positive that image is ready is still 1000. So something is wrong here. After I run the spam 1000 command, the consumers goes down to 0. In logic write log, the line is intentionally slow. Okay, yeah, I think that's something I added a while back. The sleep for. Yes, I think I added that. Let's try this again. still not working. They're still crashing somehow. I don't know what's going on here. Did that, and still the consumers are crashing. And the consumer rate remained at 0. I'm confused as to what's wrong here. I don't know why they'd be crashing. Before I look at that, let me see what they did in that section. This is in the subscribe section. But yeah, they split this out into basically have a helper function that runs the handler. I guess it's power functional programming, but yeah, they're not killing it like I am. Okay, so let's fix that. They did not. Um, they did not do a negative acknowledgement. I guess we can try that because nothing else is working right now. a shortcut right there. A delivery and publishing is spiking up. Still not working. Oh, there are no messages in the queue though. Not sure if it just went by super fast or something. That's going so fast I can't even see it. Maybe I should just do a split window here. The consumers aren't crashing anymore. Don't see messages being queued after running spam 1000. And I only see the publish and deliver stats increasing, not the consumer acknowledgement stats. Let's kill this again because it's absolutely killing my PC. Remember, it's receiving a message but never sends acknowledgement back to RabbitMQ, causing the message to disappear from the queue without being officially processed. Message is delivered to consumer. The consumer process exits immediately before it can acknowledge the message. RabbitMQ will eventually know this process is gone, but potentially put the message back in the queue. However, since your consumers are now robust and not crashing, it is being delivered and then lost in a void where it is not acknowledged. And their logs. Returns acknowledged on success. Okay. We have a successful game log. Problem is that the first statement you add in the previous fix I don't remember deleting any code. This PubSub stuff is unbelievably confusing. As the log, as acknowledgement. And the switch statement is not missing. It's literally right here. Effectively vibe coding at this point. Um, I just don't know. I don't know why it's failing. Oh, if this doesn't fix it, I'm probably just gonna stop the video because it's already an hour long. Obviously, nobody's gonna be watching this long. Yeah, error could be occurring here. It's about routing game log struct. JSON string using a GOP decoder. Yeah, I did not update. Yeah, did not update this previously. Get messages log, publish. Hey, use the helper that sends a GOP encoded game log struct like they're doing here. I just try to use the normal publish JSON, and obviously that's not going to work. I'm just sending back string instead of a game log struct. And publish game log is undefined. Where is this supposed to be? Oh, okay. Mine's public. Yours is private, which is probably the right way to do it. What is this error? Oh, my published game log does not have an error value. It probably should. Where's mine? Mine is in more messages. I don't even know where theirs is. What? Oh, there it is. They do theirs in a completely different way. So let me just try the way I wrote it first. Doesn't look right, but okay. I have no idea what I was gonna say. Third time's a charm, but I don't think took only 3 tries at this. It's like 100 or so times it feels like. Okay, so consumers are running. Spam 1,000 game log messages. Wait for something to happen. Now nothing is happening. Oh my. I guess something's wrong with the way I wrote it, and there's an error happening that I'm not seeing because I'm not catching errors. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to come back to this in a later episode. I've already been going on for an hour now, but thank you guys for watching. See you all in the next one.